the country also happens to be online for that sort of stuff. So it's a real challenge.
Well, one of the bodies of work we worked on with American Security Project and Lloyd's was to launch something called the City Risk Index, which looks at the economic cost as a share of GDP exposed in cities to different types of threats, man-made, natural, and emerging. And when you start to put an economic cost or a dollar value to a catastrophic flooding event in Houston, and what share of GDP of Texas was exposed, if not the entire country, to the fourth largest city in the United States being underwater, it starts to cast a new light on what does resilience mean. And so even in a Houston, as with California, very predictable large catastrophic losses, we're underinsured for them. Something like 11% of households in California have earthquake insurance as a standalone thing. The flood insurance programs nationally are underfunding, woefully underfunding and underpricing these risks. And the private insurance market is doing very little, I think. So, the short answer, Brian, is we're entering a world where we have to begin pre-investing. It's kind of an invest now or pay later proposition, but either way we're going to pay. Puerto Rico's debt burden, invest now or pay later, but either way we're going to pay. It doesn't just magically disappear. And when you have all of the conditions that we've described up front, how do you flip it on its head? And so if you stretch any investment horizon out long enough, the investment proposition becomes palatable. Then you could tackle some of the things this gentleman raised in terms of infrastructure and energy and ports and things like that. But who has the balance sheet to do that today? There's only three actors. The state, and we're already nearing the 11th hour of our own economic debt clock. The long-term asset holders, insurance companies, pension funds, and others. These are the only folks with the trillions of dollars of capital to tackle these big questions. But if they don't do it, it shows up on their balance sheets in these shocking events. The last 2 months will cost the insurance industry upwards of $200 billion. So you're going to pay for it no matter what, right? Or the taxpayer pays. And so every time we pick up the tab for a predictable risk like these, it's a market failure, and we should really drive a lot more incentive.
Yeah, ma'am back here, I think that's right. I could add more, but don't need to.
Hi, I'm a fellow at Refugees International, and I have two questions. One is